It's all about truth. All of it. Every single thing. All boils down to the truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free. All right, we are live. Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dan Diggs here, reporting for Press for Truth, coming at you live here today in the wake of a pretty major cryptocurrency crash that has been really shaking up the markets. We're going to talk about that and so much more today, guys. But before we do, let me just make sure we are in fact live. Okay, I got 32 people tuned in right now. Thank you so much, everybody. There's only 4 likes, though, with 30 people. That doesn't add up. Please smash that thumbs up button, guys. Click that thumbs up. Let me know you're here. Share the stream. I'm going to be taking questions from the chat today. Hello, Michelle Truther, Cerebral Pisces, G-Mad. You're talking crypto. I'm shocked. Yeah, it's not generally a topic that I often cover here on Press for Truth, but it is something I've been interested in since 2009. I've been covering Bitcoin since 2012. I think I actually put out my first video in 2013. And so I've been following this space very, very closely. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what's been happening in particular with Terra Luna. We've seen a massive crash, the likes of which I'm not so sure the cryptocurrency space has ever seen. As we see here right now, according to the live charts, Bitcoin is currently trading at 28,000. Everything is pretty much in a sea of red. And let's just go to the biggest gainers and losers tab, and we see right up here, Terra Luna. Now, in case you guys aren't familiar with this, we're going to break down a little bit for you what this is all about, what's going on here. This, for example, just in case you're not aware, was trading just about a month ago for $120, and now it's 0.02. It is essentially completely evaporated into nothing. It had a market cap of what was it, 18 billion, I think, and it currently has one of 79 million. You know what's interesting, guys? I just looked at this maybe a half an hour ago, and it was 51 million. There's already been like $27 million added in the last half hour. That might actually indicate that people are actually trying to buy this dip, which is not a good idea. It's completely insane, actually, because the whole Terra Luna ecosystem has completely been shooken up and is in some trouble. So we're going to talk about that today, guys. This may seem like a boring topic to some viewers at Press for Truth, but it's something I'm very interested in. I think it's something we're going to have to pay attention to moving forward in the future. And as I said, I've been covering it for quite some time. So today we're going to break down what this whole Terra Luna mess is all about. Now, first of all, most of you guys are probably already aware of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and things like that. But what you may not know is that due to the heavy volatility in the cryptocurrency space, they've over the years came up with something called a stablecoin. And a stablecoin is essentially something that is pegged to the US dollar, and it's meant to act as a kind of a safe haven for your assets because of the high volatility in the crypto space. So for example, if you're holding X amount of whatever, Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, and you have a feeling that things are going to go bad and may soon go south, well, you can move those assets into a stable coin, and you will know that it's not going to rise, it's not going to go up, it's not going to go down. No matter what the market does, it's going to be pegged at that $1. As we see here, this is exactly what is the case with Terra, and that is the case with Tether, as we see here. Currently, and it's interesting, just shy of a dollar, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But as you see here, USD coin is at a dollar. Binance USD is at a dollar. These are cryptocurrencies that are pegged to the dollar, as I said, as a safe haven against volatility. Now, in the case of Terra Luna, here you see Terra USD is currently trading at 38 cents. So that means if you had, $100 and you moved it into a UST as a safety net, and now you went away for the weekend and you come back and everything is crashed and you're like, oh man, I want to sell. You put in $100, you're only going to get $38 back. I mean, this is absolutely shocking, and people have gotten completely wrecked over this, guys. Let's just look at again, Terra Luna. We'll go to the top gainers and losers. And let's just, I went to look at the community. We see here there's a number of different places you can go to. And the Reddit community, let's just pull that up real quick. Here, the very top post, as you can see, that is pinned, is for everyone panicking. Here's some national helpline numbers. They have a suicide hotline number here pinned to the very top because people are literally losing their life savings. You can see I've read a few of these. My ex-colleagues attempted suicide. For those considering suicide, here's my story. This guy, I lost over $450,000. I can't repay the bank. I'm going to lose my home soon. I'll become homeless. Suicide is the only option for me. People are getting completely wrecked. So, it begs the question, what exactly is going on here? Is this just market manipulation? Is this, organic? Just the reality of cryptos being based on nothing, resulting in a flash crash, almost like a run on the banks? Well, some people think that there's a bit of a conspiracy going on right now, and a lot of that is stemming from this. And I want to cover this. We're going to go over this. I will get back to your questions soon, but this has been making the rounds, and I think it's important to cover. So what it says here is BlackRock and Citadel borrowed 100,000 BTC from Gemini, it appears, in their loan book. They swapped 25,000 of that BTC into UST. This was all done quietly in anticipation of the attack. Let me see if I can blow this up a bit. Is that blocking? Yeah, I think it is. So when the time was right, here, I'll make it small again. They called up Do Kwon at Terra Foundation. They said they wanted to sell a lot of BTC for UST. As it was a large trade, they told them they didn't want to move the market and asked if they would like to buy their large block of BTC at a discount for UST. Do Kwon took the bait. He gave them a huge chunk of UST, thus lowering the UST liquidity significantly. At the point that BlackRock and Citadel dumped, at that point, they dumped all of the BTC and the UST, causing massive slippage and triggering a cascade of forced selling in both assets. The real problem was BlackRock and Citadel knew that Anchor, which holds a lot of Luna, a Ponzi scheme, they offered 20% staking Appy. I'm not going to say that. And this crash would trigger more withdrawals than Anchor can repay. These forced withdrawals and selling would then trigger a massive sell-off in Luna, thus furthering the breaking of the dollar peg and wrecking the market even further. BlackRock and Citadel can now buy the BTC back cheaply to repay the loan and pocket the difference. Meanwhile, billions of longs in Bitcoin VAR were wiped out. Is this pure market manipulation? Well, it's an interesting theory. I hope you guys were able to follow that. But I looked into a little bit, and it was easily debunked because the entire thing is predicated on this, the idea that BlackRock and Citadel borrowed 100,000 BTC from Gemini. Well, Gemini recently responded to this. This is their official Twitter here. I'm getting a bit of a delay here for some reason. Let me see if I can. There we go. And here, they had to respond to this, saying, "We are aware of a recent story that suggested Gemini made 100,000 BTC loan to large institutional counterparties that reportedly resulted in a sell-off in Luna. Gemini made no such loan." So again, this theory hasn't really amounted to anything, but that's not to say that there isn't market manipulation in this space, because the whole thing, the whole design of the thing was a little off in the first place, because you got to look at what is a stable coin, right? Generally, they're backed by real things, by assets. But the difference with Luna is it was a what would you call it? I wrote it down here. An algorithm stable coin. So it's a little tricky to explain, but basically UST and Luna, the two cryptocurrencies, the one that's pegged to the dollar and the one that's tied to it, act in tandem with one another. When one is minted, one on the other is burned, and vice versa. When one is minted, the other is burned. And this is what helps keep UST on peg. I hope you guys are following me. But over the last few days, we've saw this huge, flash crash. Oops. Sorry, I thought I was on the screen that whole time. We saw this huge flash crash, and going from 18 billion. Look at this, 83 million now. People are buying the dip right now. It's absolutely crazy. But when you see $18 billion disappear from the market like that, it never actually just disappears. It doesn't just fade away into nothing. All that money essentially just traded hands from young retail investors who jumped into Terra Luna when it was at $110 or $115, put in their life savings, and then the bigwigs sold, and everybody got absolutely wrecked. Now, here's the thing that I see may be troubling moving forward, is you look at Tether right now. Tether is currently under the peg of $1. And some would say this is fairly normal. It does fluctuate within a 0.5% or so all the time. But let's just consider if Tether were to go down. And there's not a lot of transparency at Tether, by the way. The whole thing is kind of shady, to be honest, of what's actually backing this. So let's hypothetically imagine that after this Terra Luna crisis, which Janet Yellen chimed in on, if Tether happens to have a similar fate and it just completely crashes, let's say overnight, I think, well, one of two things may possibly come as a result of that. First, the governments are going to look at this and they're going to say we have to intervene in order to protect investors. We're going to have to intervene. Either that, guys, or they're going to simply wipe everything out and install their own central bank digital currency. And for those of you who've been following this channel for a long time, you will know that that has been the agenda all along. I recently went to my channel and just typed in the word Bitcoin, just to look up some of the things I've done over the years, and it goes back to 2013. I was doing videos on Bitcoin. Like here, I was at the Bitcoin Expo. Here, 2013, I showed the first Bitcoin ATM in British Columbia. I went to some conferences in 2014. This one's cool, exclusive rare footage inside a massive Bitcoin mining farm. I went and documented the inside of this place and put together a solid little video. Actually, maybe I'll play the first couple minutes of this video for you, because it's pretty cool. I mean, as I say in the intro, when you want to understand something, you really got to immerse yourself in it. And I went to one of these facilities to check it out. Let's just check out a quick rehash of this old clip. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even think about this. Might get some sort of copyright issue for the music, because I don't have copyright on this anymore. I used to, but anyways.
You have to just immerse yourself in it and see it for yourself firsthand. So I'm on my way right now to a secret, remote location somewhere up in the mountains of beautiful British Columbia to check out a Bitcoin mining farm that's doing this on a massive industrial scale. This should be pretty interesting, to say the least. So let's do this.
So this is when I went to document a Bitcoin mining farm. It's funny. I'm just shooting all this by myself. I'm literally just holding the camera up there. It's funny, this next shot here. Some guy is like, hey, what you filming? Are you like a filmer maker or something? I'm like, yeah, you want to help? Get a shot of me walking into the airport? The guy's like, yeah, sure. So gave him my camera and got this shot.
All right, guys, so we're on our way to visit DMG Blockchain Solutions.
I don't know, we don't have to watch this whole thing. Let's get to the part where I...
square foot
Oh yeah, the flight was canceled and then I had to drive. But anyways, here's where I get to the inside of the facility.
We finally made it here to DMG Blockchain Solutions. It's very noisy in this particular room because there are hundreds and hundreds of computers here running billions of calculations on the Bitcoin network. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what Bitcoin mining is all about.
Whoa, look how black my beard is. It's only 4 years ago. Man, COVID-1984 has been stressful. Anyways, guys, you can check all this stuff out for yourself.
And here, as you can see, we have hundreds and hundreds of computers lined up running calculations on the Bitcoin network.
Anyways, that was fun. You know, getting right in there, immersing myself in the space, trying to get a solid understanding of this whole thing. But we're getting off track now. Where were we? You know what? I'm going to quickly jump over to the chat. Make sure we still got some people watching. Hey, there we go. The stream has a low bit rate. It's recommended. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, we're still good, though. High Impact Flicks has jumped into the chat. What's he saying? Super humbling camera. Chris, having a conversation with somebody. Let me scroll back a little bit, guys, through some of these comments. Oh, wow, there's a lot. Okay, and you know, moving forward, if you really do have something that you want me to answer your questions on, you know, maybe just put a whole bunch of question marks around your comment, because I'm scrolling through a ton of comments here, essentially looking for some questions, and we'll break it down. Bitcoin, crypto, gold, silver, stock markets, they want to destroy it all, says Escape the Matrix. Yeah, it's like the everything bubble is starting to crash, essentially. Terrible Luna, says Escape the Matrix. Yep. Let's see. A lot of comments. High Impact Flicks, what's up, brothers and sisters? Hello. Thanks for tuning in, Brian. Let's see. Watch it hit 2,500 first. Gold or Bitcoin? Oh, good call. I think gold, to be honest. I think gold is going to hit 2,500 before Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's bottom is probably somewhere between 18 and 21,000. I believe. So there is still room for this correction to continue slipping. I really do think that's quite possible. As it is now, I think we're trading in and around 28 or something like that. So it could go either way right now. But I've been covering this space since 2012. I got involved myself in 2014, getting some Bitcoin, getting a little more serious in 2017. But I've been in it for a little while. Okay, let me scroll through tons of comments here. Did you see who was getting most of the baby formula? A little bit off topic there, Diane Lynn, but that's okay. I did a video on the baby formula takeover, and how Bill Gates has been backing lab-grown breast milk companies over the last few years in the lead up to this shortage, which is interesting. Go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Let's see. A lot of people talking to High Impact Flicks. If you're not familiar with the channel, go check it out. Wow, there's a lot of comments, guys. Bear with me. I'm just scrolling through here. Yeah, Luna is dead, says Jonah Curry. For sure, you know, and let's not, you know, it's been going around to say let's be a little light on the whole "I told you so" thing. There are people, as I showed you earlier, literally committing suicide over this. People have lost their life savings. This is a terrible thing. But again, this is more so to the reason of why you don't get involved in the cryptocurrency space unless you can afford to lose whatever you're willing to gamble. And that's exactly what this is. Just like if you had $1,000 right now and you were going to walk into a casino and you were going to put $50 down, I would think, okay, that's fine. You know, are you going to be okay if you lose it all? And if the other guy's like, yeah, I'll still have 950, it'll be fine, but I'm going to go into the roulette wheel. I'm going to put 20 on this number, 20 on this number, 10 on that number, and see how it goes. I would say, go for it, man. Knock yourself out. And if that's the only $1,000 you have to your name, $50, it's not really going to put you out, you know, and you may end up hitting big, and it's you know, it's interesting. If that same person said, I'm going to go in there with my $1,000 and put the whole thing on the line, or the vice versa, 950 on the line, I would say, what are you, crazy? Do not do that. Don't play with your life savings in the casino. That's just absolutely insane. But unfortunately, a lot of kids these days just want that get-rich-quick scheme, and they don't want to put in the hard work and the effort to develop a craft or make something of themselves. And these retail investors are getting absolutely wrecked. And as I said, if this continues and we see something like Tether make its way into the abyss that Terra Luna has found itself, we may see heavy regulation coming to the cryptocurrency space in the very near future. And if not regulation, flat out monopolization, because we do know that that has been the plan all along. That's what I've been saying since 2012, guys, that there is a global one world digital currency coming that will be controlled by the powers that ought not to be. But as I've always said, there are a number of blockchains that will come and go before the one, so to speak, that takes over. And we're in that crazy wild west right now. And just like in the .com bubble, there was it was just so much swirling around. So many basically copycat websites were popping up. The bubble was eventually bound to deflate and pop essentially. And the exact same thing is happening in the cryptocurrency space. There are countless counterfeit blockchains. There's just blockchains mimicking other blockchains, and there's duplicate blockchains. Everybody's copying each other, and there's thousands of them. And eventually there's going to be a consolidation phase. Many of them are going to fade out to nothing. Some will get bought up by others, but we're going to go from like 1,000 cryptos down to 4 and eventually down to 1. Now, the decentralized nature of Bitcoin makes me believe that it's not necessarily the one. It might be the thorn in the side of the powers that ought not to be. They may have to figure out how to destroy Bitcoin before they can institute their federal central bank coin. But I think we're a little ways away from that happening, and there's a lot of interesting things happening in the space. But if you're not doing this responsibly, you're going to get absolutely wrecked, like a lot of these retail investors recently have. This is a thread from Do Kwon, the guy who started this whole thing, and he says, "Dear Terra community, I understand the last 24 hours have been extremely tough on all of you. Know that I am resolved to work with every one of you to weather this crisis, and we will build our way out of this together. First, if you don't understand how Terra's peg stabilization mechanism works, here's a good overview." And then he says, "A review of the current situation. UST is currently trading at 50 cents. I think it's like 30 cents right now. A significant deviation from its intended peg of $1. The price stabilization mechanism is absorbing UST supply, over 10% of the total supply, but the cost of absorbing so much stable coins at the same time has stretched out the on-chain swap spread to 40%, and Luna price has diminished dramatically, absorbing the ARBs. The crazy thing is they knew this is potentially going to happen, but it was an experiment and it failed. Before anything else, the only path forward will be to absorb the stablecoin supply that wants to exit before UST can start to repeg. There's no other way around it. And he should know. He's been involved with stablecoins that have failed before, and that perhaps should have been a bit of a red flag to people. But honestly, if you got caught up and are affected by Luna, I can't really fault you all that much. I mean, it was in the top 10 cryptocurrencies. It had a solid, what looked to be pretty good tokenomics and a solid background, a group of people working with it for the most part. It even seemed like a good buy to me. I remember thinking I would have liked to have gotten in at around the $30 mark, and then I watched go from 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 up to 120. And unfortunately, some people made that call, and it was the wrong one. But as I said, you shouldn't be making these calls with money that you can't afford to lose. This is essentially the roulette wheel of the crypto space. To an extent. I mean, when you do your due diligence, you really look into these companies, you understand the tokenomics, you start to get a better understanding of, you know, what is an investment and what is a risky gamble. How can I let's take a look at right now cryptocurrency. We'll see what's recently added, okay? Because some things are coming in all the time. Look at this. This just came up an hour ago. All of these are all brand new cryptocurrencies, and many of them are just going to completely go to the wayside. Like, look at this stupid one. What is this? Elon Cat coin. It's currently up 120% in the last 24 hours. There's $25,000 into this thing already. Let's take a quick look at this, guys, because this is the kind of stuff people need to understand. So normally when you're looking at a new coin like this, you would go and check out their website, look at their tokenomics, and this already looks ridiculous. Elon Cat Inu, the cat token that will create millionaires. Okay, sure it will. Here's the contact address. About us. Here's the tokenomics. 10% reflection, 5% dev and marketing tax, 3% LP. Some of this is kind of normal. This is a huge red flag. Stealth launch, anti-bot and anti-sniper mechanism to ensure Elon Cat will be a fair launch for all. No whitelist, no BS. Wow, guys, if you see something like that, no white paper, no whitelist, sorry. Basically, they're not really explaining anything, and you don't know who they are. Stealth launch. They're doing this anonymously. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Do not invest. And wow, people are actually doing this. It's up 100% in the last 24 hours. Whew. These are the people who aren't doing their research, guys. This came out. When did that come out? 3 days ago. 3 days ago, and it's already ranked in $25,000. It's got around $7 grand being traded. Sorry, the volume is 24. It's currently sitting at around 7. These guys are going to make off with somebody's money who was stupid enough to put it into this. But again, when you actually look into what makes these things tick, that I did that very, very quickly and could very quickly see that that was one of those ones that is like in that .com bubble that are going to completely be wiped out very, very soon, guys. So this is just crazy. Let me get back to the chat for a quick second. We'll see if we got any other questions coming in. What do we have? 148 people watching it right now, but we only have 93 likes. That clearly does not add up, guys. Please smash that thumbs up button. 144 people tuning in, and I have, 270,000 subscribers on this channel. This thing is so heavily shadow banned. I was considering just going live streaming elsewhere today, but I figured, you know what, I haven't done this in a long time on my YouTube channel, and we'll see how it goes. Hey, Dan, Camera Chris, was Charlie Veach really CIA? Wow, interesting question. That's going back a long time. No, I don't believe he was. I believe he was actually a very, very impressionable person. And when the CIA took him on a trip to visit the victims' family members of 9/11 and show him, the Pentagon and stuff like that, I think he bought it. He actually believed it. So his flip-flopping on the 9/11 truth movement was genuine, I think. I think he bought what they were selling him, not because he's a shill, not because he's controlled or anything. He's just an impressionable guy, and they managed to convince him of that. But anyways, I did a video on that long time ago. Just do a search on my channel for Charlie Veach or my thoughts on Charlie Veach or something like that, and you'll find it. Diane Lynn, give Dan a thumbs up. He definitely deserves it. Thank you so much. All right. Hey, it's working. 124 thumbs up right now. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Dan deserves far more viewers. He works extremely hard and has been at this for many years. Yeah, I would have to agree. You know, I'm currently being very, very heavily shadow banned. Uh, let me give you an example. I just tweeted this out recently, kind of very jokingly. You know, to Elon Musk, because I'm not looking at him to be any kind of a savior of free speech or anything like that. But this will show you, you know, what shadow banning actually looks like on my YouTube channel. I recently put this out. Hey, Elon, my Press for Truth account is suspended on Twitter, and this is what shadow banning looks like on YouTube, just in case you're feeling randy. And here it is. Here's a picture that shows, you know, that does not make sense, ladies and gentlemen. 85,000 views, 460,000 minutes watched, and 0 subscribers. A big fat goose egg, 0 subscribers. 85,000 views in the last 30 days. And they're trying to tell me I've got absolutely 0 subscribers. Total shadow banned. So I would have to agree with, who was that, Diane Lynn or something like that, who said, I deserve more views, because I really do. And I think the shadow banning is, the way it works is that the views are coming in, the subscriptions are coming in, it's just not reflecting on the channel. That's total guesswork, hypothetical theory. But I have a feeling the numbers are probably closer to 600,000 or 700,000 subs, but it's only registering like 270 or whatever. But again, we're venturing into the conspiratorial now. Look at this crazy, crazy beard. I don't know what I'm doing with this. I'm just letting her go. I have no plan. It's getting crazier and crazier by the day. My wife likes it, though, so I'm like, okay, I'll keep going. I mean, that's one of the most important things, isn't it? Happy wife, happy life. Big up to James Top 2. What a guy, says Edgar Forrester. Yeah, I believe he has just been arrested for speaking out about some of the things he said in regards to vaccines while in military uniform. I interviewed him. In case you don't know, you can head on over to my channel and just do a search on Press for Truth for James Top, and you'll find my interesting interview with him. Pneumatic Autist says, it's your war beard. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's like, what, hockey playoffs or something? It's crunch time. It's this is it. Have you seen the America First Madness? Free the Captives. Not exactly sure what you're. No, I'm not positive about what you're referring to. Wife likes. I like my husband's beards. Beards are manly. Right on. Prickly Cactus Blossom. Nice name. Very fitting. Unless you're whipped, he says. No, I will do what I want with my face, but I like it too. So there's that. I just don't know how much further I'm gonna go with this. But anyways, guys, let's get back to the topic at hand: the Bitcoin / cryptocurrency crash. It's been brutal, bloodbath, people getting totally wrecked, and a lot of this was triggered by the flash crash of Terra Luna, which, as I already showed you, there's conspiracies about the market manipulation, which we've debunked today, because of the fact that the whole thing is predicated on Gemini giving him a 100K Bitcoin loan. But as it turns out, that was not the case. So the question is, in a time when, you know, we thought that Bitcoin was supposed to be a hedge against inflation, against all sorts of market turmoil. I mean, traditionally, when the stock market crashes, for example, and when the tech industry is doing bad, Bitcoin does well. Or in times of war, when, you know, like back when anytime Trump would say something about potential war with North Korea or whatever, there would be a big spike in Bitcoin. So usually in troubling times, the cryptocurrency space kind of rises. But this year it's been very different. The tech stocks crashed, and Bitcoin seems to now be correlated with Wall Street a little bit, because it's kind of been coming down in a similar fashion. So begs the question, I mean, where's the best hedge moving forward for your assets? Now, I think long-term Bitcoin is still good. If you have it within you to weather the storm, you know, hodl on to those diamond hands and just hang tight. I think you will be okay when it comes to Bitcoin. But all these other ones, like I said, are going to be consolidated. They're going to be completely wiped out. It's going to happen very quickly. It's going to be shocking to many, comparable to what we've seen in 1929. But there are ways that you can actively protect yourself against this coming calamity. And I've often talked about on this channel, one of the best ways to do that, to hedge yourself, is with gold and silver, physical, tangible assets that you can hold in your hands, that has a proven historical track record of being a safe haven against not only inflation, but if the dollar should ever crash, this thing will be going through the roof, ladies and gentlemen. And gold right now is currently hanging out at 18. I'm totally okay with that. Silver is hanging out at 20 bucks. I'm totally okay with that. Here's the year over. You know, it was a little better back in March, down a little bit from there, but considering where the stock market has gone and where the cryptocurrency space has gone, gold and silver seems to have been a very, very good play, and I'm glad I made that move, guys. And I want to encourage you to check out a report that really breaks down where gold is potentially heading in the future, in the next year or so, and how you can protect your assets moving forward. And I do have a link in the description. I'm working with these guys to show you these 11 major gold catalysts. This is it. Between May 22nd and December 31st of 2022, gold is set to hit a historic all-time high. Guys, this is totally free to check out. You just download the report, and boom, you have the knowledge there on what to do moving forward in this crazy time of high inflation moving into hyperinflation, this volatility in the stock market, in the cryptocurrency space, completely wrecking young entrepreneurs and investors. This is a crazy time, and unless you understand the power of gold and silver to be able to protect your wealth, I think you may get wrecked as well. So I'm right here is the link. I'm going to put it in the description. Maybe I'll throw it in the chat as well. But this is really solid, comprehensive report that gives you those kind of stepping stones on where to go, because I think over the next 12 months or so, we are going to see a major increase in gold. And I love the question from a viewer earlier who said, what's going to hit 2,500 first, gold or Bitcoin? I think it'll be gold. You know, I think it'll be gold. I think Bitcoin's bottom is, as I said, somewhere between 18 and 21 or 18,000. 18 is the absolute bottom in my opinion. But in that time, gold is going to do well. And should the dollar start taking a hit, gold and silver are just going to absolutely go through the roof. That is just a no-brainer, guys. And the reason why, this is why I'm bringing this video to you. You know, some people were in the chat saying, Terra Luna, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, why are you talking about this, Dan? You don't normally talk about this. I do. I have over the years quite a lot. But I want to focus on how to help you guys protect yourselves moving forward. And right now, gambling in the cryptocurrency space, gambling in the stock market right now is obviously very risky. They say, you know, if you don't risk big, you don't win big, but you have to do it smartly. So that is very true. If you don't risk big, you don't win big, but you have to do it smartly. And gold and silver, I think, are the way to go, guys. So again, check out the links in the description right now for this comprehensive report on how you guys can start making the right moves now before you get caught up like the rest of them, and, you know, try to pull off some sort of get-rich-quick scheme and end up getting wrecked by the market. I hope and pray that does not happen to you. Again, don't make this an I told you so moment. There's people out there who are literally committing suicide over this because they don't understand the fundamentals behind some of the tokenomics involved with these projects. As I showed you right here live on the air, randomly picked one that was brutal. We could probably do that all day long. I'm sure there's a bunch of them. But anyways, you guys get the gist of it. just had to bring all this to your attention today, guys. Let me just check the chat one last time, see if we got any more comments or questions. And still only 142 people watching with a channel with 270,000 subscribers. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Another reason why you should hedge yourself against YouTube censorship by going to all the other channels that I'm on: Odyssey, BitChute, Mimes, Float, Rumble, Bastion. I've really diversified my video sharing platform portfolio, so to speak, as a hedge against censorship, because as you know, this channel's already been terminated once last year without any kind of warning. No copyright strikes, no community guideline strikes. They terminated the channel at the blink of an eye. It was just gone. I complained about it for a while, but I eventually, realized that that's just it. And then 7 months later, remarkably to my surprise, YouTube contacted me on Twitter, apologizing profusely, saying, "We've made a huge mistake. We are so sorry for the inconvenience. We've reinstated your channel. Let us know if you have any further questions." And I, to this day, am kind of surprised that happened, but lo and behold, here I am, ladies and gentlemen. So while I still have this platform and these 270,000 subscribers, I'm going to continue to try to help you guys weather this crazy, crazy storm that we're all finding ourselves in. I mean, you can see it when you go to fill up your tank at the gas station. You can see it when you're going to buy more food at the grocery stores. You can see it everywhere you go right now. We're moving into a time of hyperinflation, and this is all by design. When the pandemic hit and they forcefully shut down the economy, I was saying then that the true ramifications of this are not going to be felt for a couple of years, and here we are, 2 years later, and it's all starting to implode. And unless you take those steps, 2 steps ahead, you're going to get completely wrecked, like most people have been in the cryptocurrency space in the last 3 days or so. So I'd strongly encourage you to check out the link in the description. Just go visit that report. Just download the report. It's free to do so. Read it. Boom. Free information on how to invest in gold and silver moving forward, if you have the means to do so, guys. Because the reason why I'm telling you this is because this is exactly what I think needs to happen moving forward. This is what I'm looking at. This is why I wanted to bring it to your attention as well, just because of what I'm seeing happening in this space. It's absolutely shocking. People are literally dying. So I thought it was important to bring this one to your information today, guys. Let me quickly go through, see if there's any other comments or questions we want to address, but I think maybe that's pretty much it for the most part. We'll call it at that for today. Can't destroy Jesus. They tried that once, says Escape the Matrix. Yep, that's absolutely true. Thanks, Dan. Keep up the fight. What's this? I know some will not realize. Okay, there's a lot of people just talking to each other. Blessings, Dan and fam. Thank you, guys. All right. I don't see too many other questions. I think I may call it at that for today, guys. Wanted to just talk a little bit about this stablecoin madness, the idea that if it bleeds into Tether, which, as I said, has a lack of transparency and is at risk of having this happen to them, then it could trigger government intervention, to protect so-called investors, or just the flippant announcement of the new digital currency centralized Fed coin. I mean, it is coming. That is inevitable. Question is when. Any thoughts on Dash? Yeah, I mean, I like Dash. I hold some Dash. I was involved with the community a while back when they were supporting content creators like myself, and they've actually done a lot of great work, charitable work, going out in the community. They've gone and helping places that have been hit by hurricanes, bringing clothes and food and stuff like that. So I think there's good people backing the Dash ecosystem. So I'm invested there. I like it. How do I withdraw my Bitcoin? Well, there's a lot of ways to do that. One of the best ways to do it is peer-to-peer, directly peer-to-peer. It's to find someone else, a friend, a family member, someone who's willing to buy your Bitcoin. And that way you save on any kind of fees that you might be charged at an exchange, or if you go into some kind of brick and mortar Bitcoin shop, you're going to be paying some high fees, or if you go to an ATM or whatever, you're going to pay high fees. If you go to an exchange. So ideally, in a perfect world, you find somebody who you take their phone, you scan the code, you send the Bitcoins, and they give you cash or a direct deposit into your account, however you decide to do it. But that's honestly the best way to go about it. Other than that, I like going into just the brick and mortar and cashing out anonymously. When you're taking out less than 10,000, I think you can do that for a 5% fee, which is not terrible. But I don't really like sending it to exchanges and doing it that way because that becomes vulnerable to hacking, and I don't keep any cryptos on any exchanges. Having your private keys is absolutely crucial. You have to have your own wallet. You have to have your own private keys to your wallet. Otherwise, you know, you might lose it all. You know, that's the thing about this space, is the responsibility is within your own hands. That's the interesting thing about financial freedom, is the responsibility comes down to you. If you make a mistake, if you mess up a transaction, there's nobody there to help you for the most part when it comes to blockchain transactions. So anyway, it's getting off track here. Let's see. Thoughts on Polygon and Cardano? Polygon is interesting because of the creator behind it. I've been interested on every project that is being developed in the Polygon ecosystem, and I have noticed that a lot of those ones do seem to be credible. Like, by that I mean they're bringing something to the market. They actually are solving real world problems, and that's one of the things that you have to look into when you're looking to invest in crypto. What is this thing offering? What problem is it solving? And is there any other thing that it's just being a ripoff of? These are all sorts of things you need to look into when thinking about getting into this space. But as I said, this is not something you want to gamble with your life savings. This is only something you want to do when you can afford to lose whatever it is you're willing to gamble. With gold and silver, on the other hand, I would go big there. It's a lot safer than having it in dollars in a bank account, for example. I'd rather have my money sitting in gold bars buried under the ground rather than dollar bills on a screen in the bank. That's just me. The BTM ATM at my local store has BTC listed as 32K. Not sure what's going on with that. You'll see BTC listed at different prices on various exchanges all over the world, depending on where you go. Sometimes that's a way to increase your margins. But as I said, I don't really like going to exchanges. I prefer to find individuals in the space who we could do a direct one-on-one trade with. That's the way to go. If you can afford gold bars, sure, Dan. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. We're living in a debt-based system right now where fiat is king, and we're all born into it. And indeed, it is hard to get out on top when you have a line of credit, you have a mortgage, you have multiple credit cards. So as I've been preaching for the entire time on Press for Truth, getting out of debt is absolutely crucial to your survival moving forward. And obviously that's easier said than done. We are in a debt-based system. But you might have to lower your standards of living, for example, in order to be able to own something outright. You might have to downscale. But as I've said many times, I would much rather live in a little shack that I own 100%, where I have my garden and nobody can mess with me, than have some nice big house that has a mortgage and I'm attached to the bank, who has their bony fingers around my neck and they can squeeze anytime they want. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in protecting my wealth with gold and silver, once again, which is why I'm encouraging you guys to check out these 11 major gold catalysts that experts see from May to December in this year of 2022 coming. Free report, easy to download. The link is in the description. You just download it, read it. Boom, you've gotten the same knowledge that I do moving forward, because as we've seen, gold has historically been a safe haven to protect your assets, your wealth moving forward. Whereas the stock market, we've seen serious crashes. The cryptocurrency space, we've seen some major volatility, and that's going to continue moving forward. As I said, long term, I think Bitcoin is still pretty solid, but we're going to go through a major consolidation phase right now, probably this year, guys. A lot of these cryptos are going to be completely wiped out off the map. A lot of people are going to get wrecked. Do what you need to do to get out before that happens. Sell and invest in gold and silver. I'm going to maintain a little bit of Bitcoin moving forward, because as I said, long term, I think it's going to be good. But all these other ones, guys, as we've seen from the example of Terra Luna, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Guys, if you appreciate my efforts to continuously bring you this information, I'd ask that you do check me out at pressfortruth.ca/donate. Here you can do PayPal, one-time donation if you have PayPal. If you are in the cryptocurrency space, you can contribute some Bitcoin to me, or you can do other cryptocurrencies that I accept if you click on that right there. I'd ask that you also check out Subscribestar. I was recently kicked off of Patreon. I had over 300 patrons contributing on a monthly contribution, and they just terminated that at the flip of a switch. So that's just gone. And at Subscribestar, I think I currently have like 92 subscribers, nowhere near the 300 I had at Patreon. So hopefully you guys can help me out there. Or you can sign up directly for a monthly recurring contribution right here by clicking on this. Again, you do $5, $10, $20 a month, whatever is within your means. Most people don't bat an eye at spitting out $50 or $60 a month to Shaw or Rogers or Comcast or whatever cable net you're with, to just being brainwashed with propaganda. But you know, they're not willing to dish out $5 to independent media who does this for free, so they can get the free information that frees you from said propaganda. It's fine if you don't. I'm always going to put this information out for free, and you can absolutely continue to consume my content for free. I consider what I do to be a public service, but obviously if you do appreciate my efforts, I do need your financial support. You can do an e-transfer. Dan@pressfortruth.ca is a great way to go, especially if you're Canadian, or if you're old school, guys, you like to keep it old school. You can do cash, checks, equipment, or simply just words of encouragement. Here's my P.O. box, guys. Links for all of this are going to be located in the description below. Let me very quickly head on over to the chat before I say goodbye, and make sure we don't have any other really big pressing issues, questions, or comments that need to be read. WPG Freedom. Hey Dan, love that you're live again. What up from Winnipeg? Yeah, it has been a little while. I've been going live on Odyssey more than YouTube, because screw this place that shadow bans me. And but I mean, there are 270,000 subscribers here, so it's not something I just want to, you know, just ignore, you know. Dan, your pitch needs a little work, but you deserve decent remuneration. I'm not sure what you mean there, but thank you very much, says Joe Mama. Thank you. Dan says escape the matrix. Crypto is the future, says Kupar. All right, guys. Let me scroll back just to make sure there's nothing I missed from like an hour ago or whatever. I don't know how long we've been streaming. Does it say here? Anyways, doesn't matter. I think I've pretty much covered the gist of what I wanted to cover today. Shocking turn of events of what happened with the so-called stablecoin Terra Luna, UST, I should say, which is pegged to the dollar, connected to Luna. And this is something that shouldn't be a complete shock, but should be a red flag and a warning sign, that you got to be careful moving forward in that particular space, and that it's much, much, much safer to be involved in tangible assets, as I said, that you can physically hold in your hands, that has a historical record of showing value throughout time. So I want to encourage you again to check out that link in the description. Go ahead and download that report. Protect yourself moving forward as we're heading into more troubling times, guys. Things are crazy out there. The rates are continuing to go up. Interest rates going up. Inflation going up. Food prices going up. Gas prices going up. Everything going up. Your dollar maintaining the same amount of purchasing power it has had all along. That ain't good. We're moving towards troubling times, guys. So you have to take that financial freedom into your own hands, that responsibility of financial freedom into your own hands. And hopefully with some of the knowledge I brought to you today, you'll come out on top after all is said and done. So that's all for today, my friends. I want to thank you once again for tuning in, continuing to be a loyal viewer here at Press for Truth. Don't forget to subscribe to me on all those other platforms. Links to those are also located in the description below, because my days are probably once again numbered here on this platform. But that's okay. I'm going to continue day in and day out on those other platforms should they pull the plug here once again. So protect yourself as a hedge against censorship, and be sure you can continue to tune in to my work at Press for Truth by subscribing to me on all the other links in the description. Don't forget to check out that link to the gold report, which will show you what you need to do moving forward, and also to where you can support me at pressfortruth.ca/donate. That's all for today, guys. Thanks again for watching. Please click that thumbs up button. Share this video with your friends and family who need to see it the most. Stay tuned. We're going to have more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. Peace.